Who controls the story of 1857? The question is deceptively simple. It is not merely about who wrote the first account, but about whose version has echoed most powerfully through the corridors of time. For an event as complex and seismic as the Great Uprising in Hindustan, there is no single narrative. A multitude of stories exist, each shaped by motives, the evidence, the historical moment. This essay will unpeel these layers. It will trace the story from British accounts to nationalist counter-narratives to scholarly inquiries. We will see how the event has been defined and redefined, serving different masters. The conflagration began on a blistering May afternoon in Meerut. The first story written was the British story. It was a narrative forged in the heat of battle and the trauma of loss. For the men and women of the East India Company, the uprising was an act of profound betrayal. They branded it the Sepoy Mutiny. This was a deliberate choice of words. A mutiny is a soldier's crime, a breach of military discipline. By defining the event this way, the British contained it. Not a popular rebellion, but an internal army problem. The narrative was simple, powerful, and immensely useful. The evidence came mainly from official sources: dispatches, trials, diaries. The greased cartridge was presented as the central, if irrational, cause. Stories of atrocities were amplified in the British press. The British response was cast as righteous vengeance and restoration of civilized order. This perspective dominated for nearly half a century, celebrating British heroism. The story became about discipline and betrayal, not justice and oppression. As the 19th century gave way to the 20th, a new story began to be told. This was an Indian story, a direct challenge to the colonial narrative. In 1909, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar published The Indian War of Independence. This was more than a change of name. It was a radical reinterpretation. The mutineers were no longer treacherous soldiers, they were patriots. It was the first collective blow struck for India's freedom. This narrative built heroes, symbols, and purpose. It sought to prove 1857 was planned and coordinated. Writers highlighted Hindu-Muslim unity as proof of shared national consciousness. Lakshmibai became an icon of fearless resistance. Zafar was recast as a symbol of national sovereignty. Sources shifted: memoirs, folk songs, poems, oral traditions, recovering the Indian voice. Rebel proclamations spoke of protecting Dharma and Mulk, evidence of political intent. History became a tool for political mobilization, a powerful argument for self-rule. But in forging unity, this narrative simplified a messy reality and privileged elites over peasants and common soldiers. With India independent, historians looked beyond mutiny versus war of independence. Influenced by economic history, they asked different questions. Was the revolt fundamentally about economic distress, hunger, debt, loss of land? Focus shifted from barracks and palaces to villages and fields of northern India. Records revealed dislocation caused by company policies and rigid revenue demands. Mahalwari and Talukdari settlements in Awadh and the northwestern provinces maximized company profit. High inflexible taxes drove smallholders to moneylenders and into spirals of debt. Many lost ancestral lands to auction purchasers under company law. Early acts of rebellion, burning ledgers and destroying land records, an attempt to wipe the slate clean. Violence often struck moneylenders and local collaborators as much as the British. The revolt, in many areas, was a peasant war against a new colonial order. Company rule created new winners and losers. The losers fought back fiercely. In the 1980s, subaltern historians challenged top-down stories. They scoured local records, folk songs, rumors, and petitions to recover common voices. The rebellion was not one thing but many. Fragmented, complex, and driven by varied local aims. A Wider World, 1857 in global context. Scholars place the revolt within a wave of mid-19th century upheavals. Historians argue it was not an isolated colonial crisis. It resonates with the Taiping Rebellion and resistance to Russian expansion. Global tech, steam and telegraph shaped British response and victory. World markets in cotton and indigo, pressed upon India's countryside. Causes were both intensely local and broadly global. A contentious, communal revisionist view foregrounds religious identity and tensions. It claims fragile alliances and episodes of sectarian violence. Cited examples include jihad banners and disputes over cow slaughter. Critics counter with ample evidence of Hindu-Muslim cooperation and shared threat. This lens must be used carefully. It corrects romanticism, but can be misused politically. The story you tell depends on the evidence you listen to. No single source is pristine, official, popular, statistical, or poetic. Hold many truths at once. The event was all of these in different places and minds.